So I guess
What happened?
Let's start with this.
What happened? Nice peaceful weekend. What happened?
Yeah, nice peaceful weekend. I got not one but two emails this afternoon right before the show from YouTube. And, whenever you receive an email from YouTube, it's always going to be good stuff.
Never, ever good news, right?
Always good stuff.
You know what? I used to look forward to YouTube emails once a month.
Yeah.
When they'd say, please check your AdSense.
Yeah, here's your
account.
money.
That's it.
Don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And the first email said, "Hi, Revenge of the Sis. As you may know, our community guidelines describe which content we allow and don't allow on YouTube. Your video..."
By the way, this is the YouTube equivalent of, excuse me, sir, could you come here and talk to me for a second? With a badge. That's literally the YouTube equivalent of, as soon as you hear, as you may know, our community guidelines strike. That is a cop coming up to you while you're fucked up, and they're like, excuse me, hey, yeah, there was a little situation. Can you come here for a second? And you're like, oh, fuck, here we go. Well, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
Your video, Korean neo-Confederate fascist Hank Yu, disastrous full interview, was flagged to us for review. Upon review, we've determined that it violates our guidelines, and we removed it from YouTube.
Now, because Royce and I both agreed that this one, granted, we probably would say, okay, fine. I can see why you would take it down.
Yeah.
This was a spicy interview. Hank Yu, who is now serving 8.5 years in federal prison for gun charges.
Now, don't let it fool you guys, because a lot of people are saying flag. Nobody flagged it. Nobody flagged these videos because this also happened today on the same day. It happened to Hotep Jesus got hit.
Hotep? Davey Crocco, you said?
David Crocco got hit with 2 videos taken down. This wasn't a manual flagging situation. This was
No, they're hitting videos.
We're going to say they're hitting videos.
And by the way, when you get a video taken down, this email here, this is a form letter that you get.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It just says, manual review, and then we blah, 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 blah. So it's not like the thing in the email is necessarily always going to be accurate to each unique situation. Like, we got a manual thing and we flagged it. No, that's not what, it's just, we took that video down, and that taking a video down generates a form email that just gets sent to the account. Hey, you fucked up. We took your thing down.
And also, the Hank Yu video was already behind an age guideline. Look, again, I don't agree with it. Obviously, every video should fucking be allowed up, especially that one. We weren't spewing hate. We were making fun of a spurg.
And I worked very hard back then. Remember, this was like a year and a half, 2 years ago. This was an early, good segment for our show.
This was 20 listener fucking ROTC.
I worked my ass off to bleep out every K word, because remember, he was dropping K-bombs. Yes. And it was... To be honest with you, Hank Yu screaming the K word was hilarious. You got this fucking Ching Chong Korean guy dressed like George Washington. He's got Nazi flags behind him, and he's screaming about Jews. That's funny, right? Remember a couple of years ago, we would have came in our pants to find a Hank Yu type character.
Yeah,
you'd be like, this guy's for real too. The context is gone. No longer is there context. No, dead now in the days of remember Howard Stern would have like Daniel Carver on, and the thing is they would make a mockery of Daniel Carver's beliefs, but Daniel Carver was a soldier and he would go on Stern, and it was like a very symbiotic relationship, and it made good, it was good radio, but you can't even provide that kind of element anymore. You couldn't have like a 1488 guy on and have fun making fun of him. Even that's not.
Ron and Fez used to have Shirley Phelps on a lot.
And it was
a lot.
Holy shit. Some of the best Ron and Fez stuff is just Ron deadpanning an entire interview with Shirley Phelps and going, hey, look, I get it. These people, man, they stop messing with, your kids, and, they're messing with your marriage. And look, I get it. And it was funny because nowadays YouTube would say this Ron Bennington fellow is clearly anti-gay. Yeah. He's homophobic.
Even though he did a show with a well-known homosexual for fucking 12 years.
But context is dead, dude.
I know.
They just hear Shirley Phelps, and they hear her going, and we need to burn all these fags and make them go to hell. And Ron Bennington just going, hey, lady, I hear you. You're preaching to the choir. And they would go like, that man's, that was the bit back then.
Oh, gay. That's the worst thing you could call a man.
But it was so, and having Fez right there.
Made it better.
Right there talking to them. And it's just... can't do it now.
Well, to be fair, Fez had a girlfriend in Niagara Falls, Canada.
That's true. That's true.
So forget that.
But what has it come to where some of the greatest things that brought me joy over the years could theoretically no longer be allowed to be done today? Like,
it is bad. No, absolutely. I guess it's kind of like, when people used to like slavery and then slavery was gone. Slavery brought people joy, right, Mike? This is the same thing.
How cool is slavery? It's like you didn't have to do any work.
None.
You just drank mint juleps all day.
All day.
And talked like Lindsey Graham.
Sounds good to me.
I do say these Negroes are getting quite uppity.
We're joking, by the way, because now we have to preface when we're joking.
I do declare I do need some more. I need some more work.
I believe I caught the vapors.
They were all, remember, before, by the way, Southern people in the Confederacy, like, they were all like closet homosexual dandies. Before they had to start doing their own welding and work after slavery. But like early on, it was just, I just have a bunch of Negroes and they just pick all my things for me. I don't have to do anything.
Well, he does have to. And how many?
They were all fucking Leonardo DiCaprio. It's just Django Leonardo.
And they just had a bunch of big black men that would do anything for them.
That's it.
Boy.
I need you to do me a favor and pick up my entire house and move it over the left. Just 3 or 4 meters.
Cal Cuggy really likes that you use the word dandies. That's a good one.
I
like that
what
one.
They are. Yeah. Like, they were like dressed like, they looked like fucking the way Glenn Beck does now, right? They had that fucking Colonel Sanders look, and then they just had people like sipping mint juleps and not doing any work.
But it's not even that, but you're right. But because I was watching an episode of The Office, and think about this: The Office didn't come out that long ago, and I think season 3, Michael got in trouble because he called Oscar faggy. Like, it was on NBC, faggy, and he actually tried to kiss him on the mouth, and everybody was laughing that he was gay. There's one line in that show. This is on NBC. That goes, "I just don't know how a man could do that to another man." You couldn't do that on YouTube.
No.
So I was watching that, and the other one that I've been watching clips ever since we were talking about it. I've been on YouTube a lot of clips of old Reno 911 stuff.
Oh, Reno 911 would be
Dangle.
You can't do any of it.
Well, the entire joke of Dangle is how gay he was.
Yeah, but honestly, I do think that the Dangle, the way they handled it even back then, was so well done and tasteful. They could have gotten away with it. Terry, they might not get away with nowadays. And I've been watching Reno 911. I wonder if we just keep getting the same algorithm. Yeah. But I've been watching a lot. Dude, the racism on that show
was amazing.
It was hilarious. Like, everybody talks about Junior. They always talk about Dangle. They always talk about Weigel. Nobody ever talks about Deputy Garcia, which...
Oh, he's amazing.
One of the greatest characters. He's one of the most accurate portrayals of a Southwestern Hispanic, like, sheriff's deputy guy, super racist asshole with a black partner. That shit, dude, there's none of that Garcia stuff you could do anymore. Like, that show was really good. And it was like, I remember watching Reno 911 back in the day and going, somewhere between, like, Law & Order and Cops and Reno 911 is the truth.
Yeah, I think
you know
right.
what I mean? Like, there are little like areas in the southwestern United States where I don't think it's very far off from Reno 911.
So basically,
so we're all in trouble.
What
Nobody can have fun anymore. But don't worry, because Tim Pool is going to make sure that he and Ford Fisher don't lose their monetization.
That's what matters, really.
Yeah, as long as Tim Pool and Ford Fisher make their money, everything's going to be okay.
I guess what we're saying is new boot goofing isn't allowed anymore.
I'm just new boot goof.
You can't new boot goof. But so we even get to this part. So that was the Hank Q video.
Which, again, okay, look, we would fight it on a First Amendment thing and on a context issue.
Of course.
But we would also eat the loss on that video because it was already age restricted. It was doing us no good because they age restricted that 2 years ago. It doesn't generate views. You have to go. You have to know that video exists and go look for it. So it wasn't doing us any good anyway. But this next one,
Hi, Revenge of the Sis. Oh, Mike, this isn't a form letter. They just wrote the same exact thing. Hi, Revenge of the Sis. As you may know, our community guidelines describe which content we allow and don't allow on YouTube. Your video, Joe Rogan limits Alex Jones' speech, was flagged to us to review. Upon review, we determined that video violates our guidelines and we removed it off of YouTube. Now, this one, I'm going to fight. Let me tell you why. This is not that long ago. There is absolutely nothing In that video, that should be considered any terms of service violation. We didn't threaten anybody. There was no hate. How would there have been fucking hate speech? We were talking about Joe Rogan and Alex Jones. So we were talking about them. We were talking about what a hypocrite Joe Rogan was for this one. Joe Rogan says, I can't have Alex back on. What a hypocrite he was for doing that. That's that entire segment. And it's gone. My theory is it's because it says Alex Jones in it. That's my working theory.
Yeah, we didn't do anything. I mean, we defended Alex Jones, but we didn't do anything over the top. And I can already tell you, like, I barely remember that segment, but if we were talking about Alex Jones and we were talking about Joe Rogan, there's absolutely nothing in that segment that would have made me or Royce get fired up enough to say anything crazy.
No. The only thing I do remember this one. We were calling Joe Rogan a fucking hypocrite, saying that, how dare you, calling out how he was a hypocrite for saying Alex Sandy Hook stuff when he believed in the 9/11 stuff. That's what we were talking about. Typical stuff. It wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't anything even close to like the Hank Q video. So we got hit there. Now the funny thing about this is they're saying you're violating guidelines, but they're not issuing strikes. So we didn't get a strike for either one of those videos.
Which to me tells me that's like the equivalent of a district attorney wanting to give you a really, really, really low plea. And
right.
You're like, you probably don't have much of a case then, right?
Right.
You're offering me probation for punching a guy and killing him. Like, you know what I mean? Something's off here. I think I'm going to go to trial.
Yeah.
So I think this is one of those where you're like, I'm going to go to trial on this because you guys are dumb. Go back and watch that Hank Q shit. We literally were goofing on him.
Oh, yeah, it was hilarious.
I thought it was the funniest thing ever.
I remember I was really mad at him. I called him a LARPer.
It was at no point were we like, yo, let's fucking round up the Jews. Like, he was just a crazy person, and we were laughing at this, again, this Asian man dressed in, you know what I mean? Like his regalia. Yeah. And doing fucking Nazi salutes in a fucking George Washington outfit. That's funny to me.
So, if you want, again, like you see super chats are gone, but if you want to send a Streamlabs donation, it's streamlabs.com/Revenge of the Sis. I'll be reading those. Also, believe it or not, we actually make a little bit of money when we go live on DLive versus fucking YouTube, obviously. So if you want to watch live or even open it up another window and have DLive popping in the back, it's dlive.tv/Revenge of the Sis. I really recommend, I know everything sucks and you guys don't like to chat, whatever. I really recommend, though, if you are a fan of this show, because the next thing that's going to go is our channel's going to be taken away.
Well,
I'm not delusional.
Sayanzi already just said that. He goes, I hate to say it, but you guys are going to lose the channel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know. Look, I say it all the time. Build the community, build the brand. Don't worry about the channel. I have been saying for 2 years, and Royce will back me up here, that this real estate is worthless. I've always seen this real estate, sub counts, channel growth. This shit is worthless. The only thing that matters is the fact that these people know who we are, want to watch this show, and they will seek the show out if it gets taken off this platform. So that's all I care about.
We're a residential zone across from a prison. Like, nobody wants to live here.
I mean, the only thing we're going to lose when we leave this platform is a handful of LARPy people that are like, remember when you caught Dick Zappetto? And you're like, oh, this guy again?
Yeah.
Like, retards like that, casual, like people that are like IBS, YouTube kind of weirdo people, and we don't buy. And if you're that casual, we don't need you.
And the thing that I will promote, and I've been promoting it since we really don't make any money on YouTube anymore, is become a patron. I'd recommend at least the $5. If you give the $5 for the Patreon, you get the first 250 episodes, which are archived. And almost all of them are sitting on a hard drive that I've been also backing up manually. I'm really preparing for this every way possible to figure something out. So I got them. So if Patreon, for whatever reason the YouTube thing goes down, don't worry. You're going to get your episodes because we have them. So the first 250 episodes, if you become a patron, patreon.com/we're-not-sorry, and you get that. But what you also get is our fucking show to keep going on because this is how we make our money. So if you want to sign up that way, that would be great. Yeah, man.